All right, welcome everybody to the Sacramento Speaker and Entrepreneur Network. I am Katrina Sawa, the organizer of this group, and I'm so excited to have another webinar. I love having webinars because we get people from all over. We have some Bay Area folks, and then Megan's from Southern California, and I don't know where a couple other, I know Pat, you're down in the Central Valley, I think, and so's Chuck and Gary. And Shane, I have no idea where you are, but you can tell us when you introduce yourself. And yeah, and so this is exciting. It's not just our local luncheon people in our area. So on this meetup, the webinar, it goes kind of fast because usually we have 2 hours to do introductions. We have a couple speakers. And then I usually share a little tip or two, and then we do a 5 minutes in the spotlight. So be thinking about at the end, if you have a challenge that you're working through right now, or something that you might want support around. What I normally do on the webinar is I'll say, okay, whoever raises their hand first will get that hot seat. It's kind of like a hot seat. And then you share your challenge, and then we all give you some feedback or resources. So be thinking about if you want that or not, no pressure. And, you know, the speaker on the webinars don't have a lot of time. So she has like 10, 15 minutes, you know, after we do introductions. And I know she's going to be moving pretty quick. And it's funny, too, because I just got your book in the mail. Woohoo!
Yay!
Yay, Megan. So we're talking about You Are Enough today. And
Yes.
This is Megan's new book she just launched on Amazon. So I can't wait to hear some of the tips she's going to share. It's a really cool book. I really like the internal layout. You did a really good job. I might want to know who your layout person is.
Yes, thank you.
So
It was amazing.
I know. So, but first I want to go around the room and do introductions, and I'll go last, and then I'll introduce Megan, and then she'll go, and then we'll go from there. And in the meantime, don't forget there's a chat room. So I do post the chat comments with the replay. So make sure you're opening up the chat. If you're not sure where that is, there's a little green button. Oops, I just posted the share. I don't want to share. There's a little bubble button underneath all our pictures. And if you might want to open that up, it opens up on the right-hand side of your screen. And then people will be chatting in there, commenting. You can put links to your website and your free stuff. Also, if you're not looking at us like a Brady Bunch and you can see all of us on the screen, you might want to click the button in the top right-hand corner that says gallery view. You want it to say speaker view when you're looking up there. So you want to be looking at us in a gallery rather than just one person big and a whole bunch of people small, I would recommend. Anybody have a problem with any of that? Logistics. Okay. You guys are all seasoned Zoomers. All right, cool. And there's some kind of weird tapping. It stopped. Was somebody typing? If that was you, just mute your line. That way, if you want to type, you can. Just mute your line if you can, if that was you. All right. So I just started. All right. Karan, Karan, I can't pronounce your name right. I know I should know this, but I'm so sorry. So you go first and tell us how to pronounce your name, please.
Sure.
Circle.
Sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Kiran Yella. I'm a consultant business process excellence, a Lean Six Sigma black belt. I'm currently working full-time with Biorad Laboratories, and part-time, I have my own consulting firm where I'm offering online training for Lean Six Sigma and workshops on how to improve the processes. So here I'm joining the group to be a better speaker and presenter. So I'm really looking forward to learn from the group on how I can get there to speak in front of the audience. And I'm really happy to see Gary and Chuck Hooper here, whom I'm familiar with. Hello, Gary. Hi, Chuck.
Awesome. Chuck's probably driving in the car trying to get somewhere, I'm guessing, but awesome. Thanks for sharing. How about Terry?
Hi, everybody. I'm Terry Rose. I'm love and lifestyle coach supporting men and women through the separation and divorce and empty nesting. My company is Blissify Your Life.
Awesome. And Gary?
Hello. Yes, I'm Gary McKenzie. I work with presenters as to how to use the stage to connect with their audience, and then how to develop a compelling call to action without sounding salesy. So I'm Gary McKenzie, and I look forward to hearing all of your stories.
All right, and the rest of you are kind of muted. And Don, you're not looking like you're muted, but you don't have video, which is fine. You don't have to be on video, but are you there?
Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Oh, damn it. I did one thing right out of this whole process. So
I can hear you, just can't
I
see.
apologize. I don't have the video. Normally I do, but at this point it's just audio. My name is Don Franceschi. I'm in Sonoma County. I teach presentation skills to folks. And my website is fromawfultoawesome.com. And I also have a book out that's roughly the same title, From Awful to Awesome, 9 Essential Tools for Effective Presentations. And so I'm just kind of lurking today to kind of see how this all works.
Awesome. But you've been on Zoom before, right?
I've been on Zoom before. I'm familiar with that. But every time I have a microphone issue, different microphone, it seems like a new challenge.
Okay, great. Gotcha. Thank you for sharing, Don. Thanks for being here. Let's see, Pat, I see you now. You're still muted. You want to unmute and say hello?
There we go. How's that?
Well, now we can't. Oh, there we go. Now we got both. Okay, go.
Hey, my name's Pat. Hey, Katrina, good. Long time no see.
I know.
Gary, same. Yeah. So I'll be down at Craig Duswald's Rockstar Marketing this week. So super stoked about that. I'm a real estate investor. We do real estate investing training, help people get started in business ownership, and teach all the concepts of how to leverage money and real estate. So fun.
Awesome. So I won't be at his event, unfortunately. Been there a gazillion times, but I have a wedding this weekend, so I can't make it. It trumped Craig's event. So have a lot of fun.
All right. Yours? Oh, no.
My event's in a month, so
That's
yeah.
gonna be great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see. How about Chuck? Are you unmuted? I see.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. I will be only on the phone. I will be traveling some. I have a 6 o'clock meeting I have to get to.
Okay.
So I'll be on the way. Business intelligence consultant, trainer, speaker, coach, a little bit of an author, but boy, am I learning a lot from Katrina about that lately. and I sent you an email. The book's updated.
Oh, good.
Chapter.
Very good. Yes, Chuck and Karan are writing chapters in my compilation book right now, and I think they're very intellectual people, and which is amazing. But yeah, we had to add a little fluffy fluff to the chapters to make it.
It's amazing. I'm not sure about that comment.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, she got the same kind of email, sweetie. So you're good. You're in good company. But you're friends, so you know. Okay, good. Thank you for sharing. Let's see. Is Erin? You're unmuted. Say hello.
Hey everyone, this is Erin Sum, and I help women entrepreneurs with their confidence and those thoughts that they're not good enough, and help them be more successful. And we're doing lots of videos and things with them these days, so that's been super fun.
Yeah, video challenge starting what, Monday?
Monday, yep.
Monday, and it's $30. She just did this. And there was like 34 people who took her challenge to do a video every day for 5 days. It really was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, make sure you're posting stuff in the chat, you guys, that we can't see you. So, all right. Let's see. Tanya, I see you're unmuted. Which Tanya is this?
I'm not aware of it. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh. I didn't know I was unmuted. This is Tanya Rios. I am leaving work at this moment, but I am also a health coach and EFT practitioner, and I specialize in emotional eating.
Awesome. Yeah, and you're writing a chapter too in a weight loss.
Yes, I am. Very excited.
I know. I'm excited. It's getting there. I only have like 3 more chapters to read. Woo!
All right. Awesome.
I get to approve them all and send them off to the editor. So, all right, let's see. We have Shane. Are you in a place where you can talk, Shane, and say hello and what you do? Let me unmute you. No, I can't unmute you. You have to unmute yourself.
See you next week. Do you want me to dump that real quick?
Hi, can you hear me?
I hear you, Shane.
Oh, hi. Yeah, I'm just driving. I didn't realize this was going to be part of it.
Oh, you didn't know it was an interactive call.
No, this is my first time checking it out. I'm from the Sacramento area. I run a site where we do tutorials and kind of training for graphic design and motion design and video editing. I'm just kind of new to trying to start a business, so I'm just trying to absorb as much as I can from around the area. And this is my first time here, so I'm just checking it out.
Okay. And it was really hard to understand what you said. I know you said it was your first time here, and something about, was it graphic design or web design?
Yeah, sorry, I might be driving through a spotty area. I do graphic design teaching and video editing and motion graphics.
Well, make sure you reach out, because I'm on the lookout for some video editors. So please say hello. Offline. All right.
Awesome.
And then we'll go ahead and mute you, but yeah, feel free to chime in if you have questions, okay?
For sure, thanks.
Cool. All right. So, and then I run this meetup. Most of you know me. I think there's only one. I think Shane's the only one that doesn't really know me. So I don't need a huge introduction, but helping people make a lot more money is what I'm really passionate about, and I love helping people get published in books. You can see on my books, I've got another one on the way, and love to help people become speakers and get more systematized. So I am super passionate about getting your system set up in your website and follow-up and autoresponders and funnels and all that stuff, because otherwise you're in manual labor chaos in my mind. So I have an event coming up. If you don't know, I know some of you have been to my events, some of you haven't. It's going to be new content because I've learned a lot about video marketing and YouTube in the recent months, and I'm going to be sharing a lot about that, as well as new trends in social media and email marketing, as well as getting back to the basics, which I never left, but many of you did, is direct mail and phone and just your general marketing strategies that we need to get business these days. So, so everything video, we're going to be covering heavily at this event. So think about coming back if you haven't been in a while. You can go to livebigevents.com for all the details. Now, if you haven't signed up for tomorrow's luncheon, please make sure you're doing that at some point while we're on the line tonight, because I do need your meal choice. That would be great. And then I want to dive in with Megan and let her take the lead here. I'm trying to pull up your little bio, and of course I can't read anything with my glasses. So tonight we're going to talk about 5 steps to finally believing you are enough, from Megan's new book that just came out, hot off the presses last month. And she's going to share a bunch of different things that you can do in a very short amount of time, and and then probably where you can get more information as well. So Megan is a licensed clinical social worker, a motivational speaker, life coach, a veteran, and owner of Mission Strength. Through coaching, leadership, consulting, and speaking engagement, she's helped hundreds of people accurately assess their challenges and identify ways they can change, capitalizing on the strengths they already have while building the new ones. So being a mental health therapist for the past 15 years, health and mindset coach, business owner, and fitness fanatic has taught her a great deal personally and professionally about the positive effects of embracing good health and positive mindset. And I know she helps people do that as well. I always see your fun photos on Facebook. You got to follow this chick. She's fun, and she's always around really cool people. And now you have a podcast, I think, too. Didn't you just launch a podcast?
Yeah, it's funny because you just read my bio, and that's from like months ago, Katrina, because my life has completely changed.
Right? I know.
And my bio has completely changed.
That's one you gave me, sweetie, and that was I don't know, 8 months ago, right?
It was 8 months ago, and you actually helped me create that bio because, I used to work with Katrina.
Right.
And, I have to give you some props because this book, the 5 steps to move from struggle to strength, really happened when I was working with you. Like, you helped me kind of develop the 5-step system in a way. And then I kind of just took it from there. So part of this,
I have the notes to prove it.
I know. So, but yes,
yay, look what could happen in a year or less. Woohoo.
Literally it happened in 3.5 months. So
I know, that's so amazing.
Yeah.
Well, you can add to whatever I said with your bio, and then feel free to just go into whatever you want to share tonight and screen share if you need to or whatever.
Okay. So yes, thank you so much. So just a couple additions. I became a best-selling author when my book launched in August by self-publishing, which I definitely was not expecting. And then also I just released a podcast. It's called the Blonde Bombshell Podcast. And I'm hosting it with a friend and fellow colleague who's a psychologist. And it's really focused on women empowerment. And even though it's called the Blonde Bombshell, we always have to say, like, we just don't interview just blondes. Like, it's just that her and I are blondes. And, just really women empowerment. We do interviews pretty much every episode of other bombshells in the area, and like, what does it mean to be a bombshell? And so, yeah, I've just kind of added that on to everything else that I am doing right now. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, dive right in. And what do you have to share with us today?
So a little bit about my journey. I actually lost my job as a therapist, making 6 figures, back a year ago in September. Katrina, can you believe it's been a year?
No.
I'm like
so freaked out too.
I was. And I met Katrina at this new media summit where I didn't even honestly know what podcasting was. And I just kind of went. And that's where I met Katrina. And I literally had no idea what I was going to do. But I also knew that I didn't want to return to corporate America, as a therapist. And so the last year, I would be lying if I said it wasn't a struggle financially. And I'm still like literally learning how to like develop all of these things about being an entrepreneur and marketing. And it's been a crazy year. And so the book happened kind of in February. I started writing this book and finished writing it in May. And then it was published in August. And it was definitely the most vulnerable project I've ever undertook. I was in a very narcissistic abusive marriage. And he lives by Katrina, actually. I know, Katrina. That's not a good thing. But anyway. And, during that time, I lost my job as a therapist and was just really in this midst of struggle and didn't know what I was going to do. And so, like I said, I was working with Katrina, and these 5 steps, I had realized that I was actually going through these steps, and I've actually taken clients through these steps more often than not, but just didn't have a name to them. And so in February, I said goodbye to that story and allowing my ex-husband to like write my story, and started writing this book. So the first 2 chapters are my struggle, the abusive marriage, the trauma that happened. And then the rest of the book talks about the 5 steps. And what I love about the book is that I add at the end of every chapter, there's like a question and there's places to journal. So it really, the reader can really spend time in the book, take notes, journal, just be really present to what's going on for them in the book. And so do you want me just, Katrina, to go through kind of the 5 steps? Okay. So the first step is developing or discovering your true self. So really, what does that mean? I take in the book, I talk about, I pose these questions to really sit and think to yourself about what does it mean to discover your true self. So anyone that's feeling stuck, whether it be career, relationships, health, we all come up with these ideas that we're not good enough. And the title of the book, You Are Enough, came because I literally thought for 6 years that I wasn't good enough. And I had to redevelop myself and discover who I was, which I think Katrina was definitely a part of And so the book talks about, what does discovery mean? And what are these questions that can help you begin the process of getting unstuck? And then the second step is visualizing your passion and purpose. So this is really about when you start discovering yourself and you answer some of these questions, what do you start visualizing? What can you see for your future? It has to do a lot with manifesting and different tools to visualize what your passion and purpose is. For me, when I was able to say goodbye to that abusive relationship and say, I'm taking over writing the story of my life, I was able to visualize this book. I was able to visualize a paid speaking career, which I know a year ago, Katrina I talked about speaking, but now, like, that is my goal, is to go around the country and share my story. And it wasn't until I got unstuck from that relationship and all of the negative, thoughts and feelings I had about myself, was I able to really visualize that. And so, although when we start visualizing our passion and purpose, again, a lot of self-limiting beliefs can come up. And that takes us into step 3, which I think is one of my favorites, because I actually have used these skills with my clients and myself all the time. And it's basically called grounding yourself. So what I do in the book and with my clients is help them develop skills to ground our negative thoughts. So I remember even working with Katrina, I was like, I can't do this. I have to get a full-time job. Like, I'm not good enough. Like, I don't have what it takes to be an entrepreneur. I don't have what it takes to market myself. And I had to use the tools to ground those limiting beliefs and say, okay, what is keeping me stuck here? Like, yes, I would do teleseminars and coaching calls, and I wouldn't get clients. And I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And then I had to go back to remind myself what my passion and purpose is. And so there's lots of grounding skills you can use, again, outlined in the book. And I do that with my clients. I have a ton of my personal grounding skills. I probably use grounding skills, I want to say, like every 5 minutes. I mean, seriously, because when you think about how many negative thoughts we have in our mind every single day, it's astounding. And once we can really identify those and put kind of a label on them, and then a coping skill to, combat those negative thoughts, then that's where we're really going to be able to flourish. And then step 4 is what I call creating your strength plan. So when we decide what we want in our lives, when we can start visualizing your passion and your purpose, which I'm sure all of you have been able to do because you're here on this Zoom call, right? Like, you have a passion, you have a purpose for your life, and you have struggles. We all have struggles, but it's how you deal with that that's going to get you to the next step. And so, but by doing all of that, especially us as entrepreneurs, we wear like 15 different hats, which I was completely unaware of when I took this jump into entrepreneurship. But it's, how do we manage our time? So the strength plan includes self-care, time management, all of our calls, all of the things we have to do, because first and foremost, we have to take care of ourselves. Mind, body, soul. What are we fueling our body with? What are we eating? How much sleep are we getting? Because as entrepreneurs, we can literally work 15, 16-hour days. I have done that, right? And all of a sudden it's 11 o'clock at night and you're like, I haven't eaten, or I haven't worked out today. And you're just going. And so with my clients, I develop, personalized individual, strength plans. So that helps them continue to go through and create the life that they want, but also making sure that they're taking care of themselves. And I know I'm going very, very quickly through this, but I do have a free gift to offer at the end, just to kind of give you more of an overview. But the last step is what I call strengthening your healthy habits. So the word complacency can be really big when it comes to rediscovering yourself, when it comes to creating the life that we want. And so what does complacency mean? Complacency means, we go through steps 1 through 4 and we get there, right? And life might be going good. We might be getting a ton of clients. We might be bringing in a lot of money. And for 6 months, you know, we're like, oh, well, I'll miss the gym here, or I'll miss this Zoom call with Katrina here or there, or I won't go to this meetup group or whatever, right? And then we find ourselves doing it more and more and more. And that's complacency. We get into a point where we think that we got it all together and we don't have to do certain things. And then we find ourselves slowly falling back into the negative self-talk. Like maybe you're really tired, you know, maybe because you're not keeping the schedule that you are, you're not eating right, you're not doing the things that you need to do to, you know, improve your business. And so strengthening your health, strengthening your health plan is really about that complacency and really focusing on how to encourage yourself to maintain, you know, the schedule, the plan that you have, so that in the long run, it helps you to create the life that you've wanted. And so that's kind of the gist. And, you know, at the end of the book, I just share about what I like to call emerging from the mud and how all of these things have come together. So I've actually done these steps myself. I was actually in the midst of the steps while I was writing the book. I was in the midst of trauma when I was writing the book, which for me, I think made the experience even more amazing. I never expected it to be a bestseller, but it's been an amazing ride the last month and a half. So I think you're muted, Katrina.
Blah, 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 blah. If you guys have any questions, make sure to unmute yourself. You can ask her anything you want. And I'm sure she'll answer, regardless if it's about the content or her journey or books or podcasts, because a lot of the people on the line, some are speakers for sure. Not all of them are doing podcasts. A lot of them, some have books that are on the line. I would say probably half don't, half do, I'm guessing. And, you know, all of it plays a part with getting to be where you want to go. And so when you say, so what's your, do you see, I know you write about vision boards in your book. And so do you see your vision out 3 years from now or 5 years from now, or is it still like you barely can see next year?
No, it's big, it's wide, and it's completely different. And why I couldn't see when you and I were working together past the 1 year is because I had this other story going on, right? And I didn't realize how much the toxicity and that relationship was really, you know, taking away from my ability to believe in myself, you know, and thinking that I wasn't enough. And now that that's gone, literally the minute I said goodbye to that, everything has changed. The book happened. And so, no, my vision for my future is big and it's exciting.
That's awesome. That's so true, though. I mean, I was kind of going, the reason my Love Yourself Successful book was, it took so long to get out. It took me 3 years to get that book done because I had to go through a bunch of stuff in the process. I thought I could just whip it out. The doing business person in me, I thought, oh, I could whip out this content. And then as I'm writing it, I'm like, dang, I have to go through this first before I can write that. And then, yeah, so luckily you moved through a lot quicker than I did when I was going through that.
Well, I think too, for me, it, like I said, I was in the midst of trauma. So for me, people ask me how it was writing the book. And I say, I don't even remember the process because I never had to say, oh my gosh, I got to sit down and write today.
Yeah.
Because for me, writing was a healing part of my journey. And so I think that's the other reason I was able to whip it out so fast, is because I was in the midst of it. So for me, it was part of my healing.
Yeah. And it really is for a lot of people, especially when you're writing something so personal, you know. And all right. I don't see anybody unmuted. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
I do, Megan. Can you share some of the tips that you were speaking about to your grounding tips?
Oh, yes, that's a good question. I have so many grounding skills, and some of them are in the book. Some of them are on a freebie that I'm going to give you guys today, which I'll tell you about later. And so with grounding skills, there's soothing grounding skills, mental grounding skills, and physical grounding skills. So basically what grounding is you want to distract your mind in the moment. So maybe, you know, I would start feeling like I can't do this, that I'm not enough. And I would get all these racing thoughts about my ex and everything. And in that moment, it wasn't appropriate for me to process those thoughts. So I had to ground myself. So for me, I do a lot of mental grounding. For other people, it could be physical grounding. So for mental grounding, it's what can I do to distract myself in the moment? Is it, you know, counting how many, I don't know, of your favorite TV shows you can think of, or how many ice cream flavors you can think of, or, you know, if you're out and you're doing physical grounding and you're doing like a mindful walk, like how many cars are going by, right? So it's really grounding yourself in the moment. That's important, because we can find ourselves slipping faster than what we think to that point of being stuck. And so like the soothing grounding skills is like meditation, all of these different things like touch, taste, your five senses. Again, another one is affirmations for me. My morning routine is a huge grounding skill for me, and I talk about that in the book as well. The importance of having a morning routine and kind of manifesting what you want for your day. I know for me, I got the "You Are Enough" tattoo on my collarbone after my divorce was final. And that was kind of my mantra. That was kind of my grounding skill. When I felt like I couldn't do this, that I wasn't enough, that I was taking the blame for everything, you know, like what could I have done different? I looked at that on my shoulder, you know, on my collarbone. And so grounding can also be visualization as well.
There's a lot of fun little exercises in your book.
Yeah.
I don't really read a lot, so I might have to read it though.
Well, and what I've heard too is, so I'm not a big reader either. And so I didn't want to make the book a lot of fluff. You know, I wanted to tell my story and get to the point. And so that's what I heard from a lot of people, is because it's more of a journal type book, it's easier to read. So that's kind of why I did it that way too, because those are the kind of books I like.
Good. We'll make sure that you post the stuff in the chat room, and then would you like to share what your free thing is? And then we'll get into I have a quick little tip to share as well. And then I have a couple housekeeping things. So go ahead.
Yeah. So I created the 5-step checklist. So you go to my website, and I can put the website address in the chat when I get done. You can go there and you can download my 5-step checklist, to 5 Steps to Believing You Are Enough checklist. So it's just kind of like a Cliff Notes version of the book. Plus, if you go to my website, there's a ton of other resources, things that I've created, a bunch of my other interviews. I do have to put a plug. I was just on the Jenny McCarthy show on Thursday. So that interview's on there as well. That was pretty cool. So, but yeah, download the checklist, you know, look at the website. If you have any other freebies that you want, feel free to download them and use them as you feel you need them.
Awesome. Very cool. All right. I want to do a 5 minutes in the spotlight. And those of you who are not on video, I don't know if you want to be in the 5 minutes in the spotlight in a minute. So either show your face or unmute yourself, so you could say, yo, when I ask for who wants it. But before I do that, I just want to remind that make sure you're joining the Facebook groups. We have a Facebook group for the SAC speaker, because sometimes I post stuff in there, and you can also post things that you're speaking on, or or events that you're hosting. And I had it all prompted up here before I had to reboot my computer. Let me pull it up so you guys know where it is. I think all of you are members of the meetup, obviously, or you wouldn't have gotten here. If you are local, don't forget. So we do these webinars once a month on the first Tuesday. And December's kind of up in the air. I'm probably still going to do the webinar, but I think the in-person event is going to be different. So I'm still in the planning stages. It'll probably be more of a last minute thing. I want to do more of a speaker off. And I don't know if anybody's out there wants to help me organize that, because I could use a little support. If there's anybody who wants to help organize a speaker off, meaning like 8 or 10 speakers for 5 to 7 minutes each instead of our 2 speakers, and just kind of boom, 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 boom. That'll give more opportunity for more people to speak, but also hopefully it'll create a larger audience because everybody will be sharing and inviting people. And we could do like a big critique fest or something like that, or we could do some kind of challenge with whoever gets the most something, you know. So I'm open for ideas for that for December, because I'm probably not going to have it if it's just a regular meeting. So that's for that. Now I have the Facebook group open. So the Facebook group is here. It just says Sacramento Speaker and Entrepreneur Network, and it's /SAC speaker. So if you're not a member, make sure you come and join, and I'll add you. And you can do videos like Sasha and promote stuff. Erin's having an event in Sacramento, and there's where we promote our speakers. So tomorrow we have Kim Gill is talking on the 3 C's of job crafting, and Anathea Fabricius is talking on the heart of communication. So it'll be another good event. And if you can come to the luncheon, make sure you go to the meetup page, which is here, and go to the next one. So in the meetup, notice we have 2,600 members. Something I wanted to just remind you of today, and kind of like my little training moment, is to go to the member page, is to communicate with people. You know that on here, you can actually talk to, message anybody anywhere, right? You can go and send a message to Pat. You can send a message to anybody that's a member of the SAC speaker and say, hey, I'm a member of the SAC speaker. Now, you don't want to just be salesy all the time, right? But say, hey, what are you getting out of the group? Or where are you looking to speak? Or did you know this? Or did you know that? You know, get some kind of communication going. But you can literally go to this member page and message anybody through here. So in case you didn't know that, is there anybody that didn't know that? Now, I know that I talk a lot about copy, paste, send, right? When you can copy the messages, they're going to stop you from sending on Meetup after about 20. So you can only do about 20 people at a time, and then they stop you and you have to come back another day. It's just their little thing. So I'd love to get a fun photo of us on here too. I haven't put an updated photo lately, so I was going to do that. So I don't know if Erin, you can get on video, or if Megan, you can come back, and Pat, you can come back real quick just so I have live people. But I'll do that in a second, maybe when you come back on. For 2019, I'm taking speakers now. So I have so many people that are trying to speak, and I probably won't do a repeat of someone who spoke this year unless people just aren't coming and signing up, which happens. Like, I have a webinar booked for February, but I'm pretty open for all of next year, you guys. So I've had a few people trickle in that I just haven't booked yet. But other than that, if you go to sacspeaker.com, you can sign up to speak for either the webinar or the in-person lunch in 2019. And make sure that you share that information with your other speaker friends, please, because we want some good speakers here. We want them good on the webinar and the in-person. It's also fun to get somebody who needs practice. I'm open to somebody who needs practice or somebody who's really seasoned. So I like to have a good mix of those people. So I know in February we have Linda Hollander. So Gary, I know we saw her the other day, but I booked her for the webinar in February. So I'm excited. Yeah, because she talks about sponsor secrets, how to get sponsors. Our hashtag is sacspeaker.com. The other thing that I thought I would just touch on, there's Pat, thank you for coming back. Maybe Megan ran to the restroom or something. anybody have any questions on lead generation as far as from your website? I'm getting a lot of questions these days on technology stuff, and I would love to throw that out to the group if you have any questions, and if not, we'll just go right into a 5 minutes in the spotlight. Anybody have anything on like systems and technology and things like that? All of you are muted, so you'd have to unmute if you have a question. But it's like I could talk about something, but that'd be kind of silly unless anybody has any questions. All right, then I'll take that as a no. All right, so I need hands up or unmute if you want a 5 minutes in the spotlight. Quick, on your mark, get set, go. Pat, okay, I saw you first. All right, so you get the spotlight, my friend. Let me take a picture too. Aaron, come back, wait. And Megan just turned off, but I want a quick picture. Okay, all right. Oh, I have my stupid phone in the picture. Okay, wait. Oh, good, there's Shane, hold on. Wait, how do I get it without my phone in the picture? Wait a minute, I'm like so confused.
Do a screenshot.
Huh? Oh, a screenshot, duh. Okay. Thank God I'm not technical. Okay, Shane, thanks for being here. Okay, good. Thanks for showing up with your funky face, your fun face. All right, there. Woo! Okay. All right, so Pat, thank you for indulging me. I got it, you guys. Okay, so Pat, tell us what, in a minute or less, what is your biggest challenge or concern right now that we can support you with? And then when he's done sharing the challenge, all of you can unmute and share your wisdom, expertise, suggestions, etc. And then don't forget, in the meantime, while he's talking, put stuff in the chat room, you guys, okay? Because I share that with all of you. All right.
Cool.
Yay.
Ready, set, go. Okay, so Facebook is such a challenge for me. I have found that if I put like a cat video up, I get 10,000 likes.
Yeah.
I'll put something up that says, hey, are you interested in improving your credit and changing your life? I get 4. I know the same people are looking at them, but how do you convert those looky-loos to actual, hey, that sounds like a great idea. And also, just to let you know, I got a nice phone call today from a compliance person. So be very, very careful about what you are saying, what you are doing, and what you promise, or even give the appearance of saying is possible, because the compliance people are out there and they're watching. So I didn't do anything bad. It was just, this is what I did, and I can show you how I did it. And that was giving the impression of, well, you can do it too. So just be careful out there. But yeah, the Facebook conversion from looky-loos to actual come to the event. Because we have events every Thursday night on real estate investing and business ownership. And I get 10,000 likes for a rehab video where we're punching holes in the wall with sledgehammers. I get 10,000 views, but 2 people show up at an event. So that's, if any of you have that similar experience or answers, that'd be great.
Yes.
Let me mute again.
I do have the same experience. It's very frustrating. But what I find is that more and more and please unmute if you want to share your thoughts too, you guys, more and more, just trying to market something on Facebook isn't that helpful. Nobody really wants to click and buy or click and sign up these days as much. I find that you have to be very, not tricky, but you have to come in the back door of a topic sometimes. And I'm trying to think of one. I just tried to post one earlier today too to see if it would work. Let me see if there's any comments on it. But you have to kind of get people to be commenting on something else that's somewhat related, and then spring in the comments, like 50 comments down, the thing that you want to share with them. But then really the only thing that's going to work, well, not the only thing, but the main thing that I see working for events is that you're private messaging people, right? And then possibly even taking it to a phone call from there. So I take it your event is pretty inexpensive as an initial try you out to something or other.
It's free to look.
It's free to come. Right. Well, and then there's the thing that, like, is free worth it, right? So might you need a little skin in the game? I don't know. I've tried free. I've tried low price. I've tried high price. I've tried them all. And they all bring about the same results. So
I mean, Facebook's a great place to share fun stuff, and people love it.
Well, I mean, I get a lot of clients from Facebook, but it's from the messaging. It's the private messaging. It's the connecting. So it's kind of like when you walk into a networking event and in person, and you're walking around the room. I don't have a business card on me, and posting something about your event on Facebook and hoping people click or ask you questions on it is kind of like walking into a room of 50 people and throwing your flyers around for your event and then walking out, right? Is anybody really going to pick one up? Are they going to ask you about it? Does it feel a little weird that you did that, right? So it's kind of getting to be like that these days because so many people are marketing. Do you guys kind of agree with that? Shake your head or, yeah, sort of, kind of, maybe. Okay, some agree, some are maybe. And I think it just, you just have to keep taking it offline onto a phone call. And I wish it was easier than that because I don't have time for 400 phone calls, frankly.
Right?
I know. In fact, I got to do it myself for my event. And it's like, oh, I have to pick up the phone call. And then I told a client today, oh, you need to pick up the phone. And then I look at my phone. I'm like, oh, I got to pick up the phone and call these people. I don't want to call these people. I don't want to do it. I just want to tell you guys to do it. And I want it to work for me the other way. But it doesn't.
Okay.
So we all have to do it, I think. Does anybody have an easier answer? Because I want to know too.
So if Facebook isn't converting like it used to, because I mean, when it first came out and that was the big marketing platform, people used it and got great results. What's really the next social media? I mean, Instagram kind of, but I mean, do you have something that you use?
All of it together, you have to position yourself as the expert in my mind. So you do kind of have to be everywhere so that you are considered the authority. If people don't see you everywhere, and I'm talking YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and you have a group and a personal page and a business profile, and they see you everywhere, and they see you in person, and they see you on webinars, they see you on Facebook Live, they see you doing Zoom calls, they see you at live events, maybe even doing your own events. If they see all of that, that elevates your expert status, your influence in your area of expertise. And that's when people will start paying more attention. If they only see you popping up here one place or maybe two places, it's like, are you really the expert? Even if it's free, I don't know if I want to spend my valuable time hanging out with you. I don't know. Maybe it's more positioning that you need to do in order to, elevate that. Any other thoughts for Pat? You guys are all being so quiet. Come on. I know you have input on this, people. I know that you're doing something right somewhere. The other thing that I've been telling clients is to diversify where you're putting your event. So have it on your website, have an event on Facebook, not just post it, but have an event on Facebook, which it's hard to manage all this, mind you, I get it. But you could have an event on Meetup and you can have an event on Eventbrite, because then you've got 4 different pools of people that are paying attention to a possible event with you. The problem with that is that it kind of muddles the water a little bit. So on Meetup, people see, like, I'm having a problem with this right now. Not a problem, but I run placercountypeople.com too. And it's a Meetup, but it's also a podcast and it's a local thing here. And so we run live events and it goes on Eventbrite, it goes on Facebook event, and it goes on Meetup. So on Meetup, it looks like there's 4 people coming. On Eventbrite, it never tells you. And on Facebook Live or Facebook, it says like there's 30 people interested and only 3 going. So then do you really want to sign up for something like that? If that's all you see, you're like, well, I don't want to waste my time for 3 people. Well, it's hard to get across to people that actually there's 40 people in the room every month. And so I have to go in and I have to say that. I have to say, hey, people, and we're all over the place with this registration. So just know that there's like 40 people in the room every time, even regardless of what you're seeing here. There's that. I don't know if that's helpful, but that's, I know it's a lot more work. So therefore you need to maybe hire an assistant to make sure you're managing all of this stuff that needs to get out there, right? And another thing is, you know, we have to do more marketing than ever these days in various different places. So 1 email or 3 emails to market a monthly event is maybe not enough for you, depending on who's opening and who's reading. Maybe you need to do a lot more than that. Also look at joint venture partners. Like, who are you joint venturing with? I'm doing a Facebook Live on Thursday with somebody who's new to me, but she's introducing me to her sphere and her followers, and I'm introducing her to mine. And that's just to grow our reach, right? And grow the people that could be attracted to us. There's a ton of ideas right there. Did you get anything from that? All right. You guys are all so quiet tonight. Everybody just wants to be on mute. I know you're not all doing a gazillion things in the background because you're just staring. All right. Well, if nobody wants to talk, then we can certainly wrap it up. But please, why don't we go around the room real quick and say, where are you speaking? What do you have coming up? Do you have an event you can invite people to? And we'll go that route. And make sure you post it also in the chat room. So let's see. Gary, you go first. You look like you're unmuted.
Okay. Let me promote National Speakers Association. We are having an event October the 20th in Lafayette, California. It's on a Saturday. Our keynote speaker is going to be Darren LaCroix, who's one of the world champions of public speaking. And the event is really tailored for individuals that are wanting to take their speaking to the next level. So I encourage you to go to the website. It's nsanc.org. And again, nsanc.org, and you can find all the information.
Awesome. Okay, Pat, you're unmuted.
I'm unmuted, yes.
Yeah.
So we have a standing weekly event on Thursdays at 1812 Tribute Road. It's a real estate investing and business ownership introductory meeting. We usually have about 50 or 60 people every week, so pretty good size event. We actually outgrew our last location. And I'm part of a large nationwide investing group, and we have a lot of fun with that. We also teach some strategies on credit management and velocity banking and things like that. So love to have anybody come down. Yeah, it's cool.
Okay.
I'm in front of the room now. I get to be in front of the room. So
that's awesome.
Every Thursday. But I'm not going to be there this Thursday. Sorry.
Oh, well,
Craig's. Yeah.
Do you have a web page for that?
Well, that's, like I said, I had to make some changes. So
okay.
Yeah, it'll be sacvip.eventbrite.com.
And that's the page to go to register?
Yeah. Yeah.
sacvip.eventbrite.com.
.eventbrite.com.
Well, that's a good.
And I have to update it. Like I said, the compliance people were like, "You can't say this. You can't say this." Okay. Mm-hmm. So I just had to change a couple things on it and republish it, but it'll be up today. Lawyers, we gotta love them, right?
Yeah. Well, that's fine. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Cool. Okay, Terry, I know you're unmuted. You got an event.
Yeah, I'm real excited. I'll be traveling to Durham, North Carolina, October 24th, where I'll be speaking alongside 5 other speakers at Accelerate Experience. It's Awakening to Your Infinite Potential. So it'll be the first time I'm taking a stage of that size of over 200 people. So I'm real excited about that. It's a huge leap of faith and a gutsy move for me, but working smarter, not harder. And then I also just took a huge leap of faith and launched organizing a cruise for divorced women that will be setting sail May 6th through the 10th in 2019. So I am working on marketing that and getting cabins filled and creating an awesome event for women who are thriving and celebrating their freedom and successes through the divorce process.
Yay.
Katrina, you're muted. I can't hear you.
I said Aaron and then Shane. Sorry.
This is Erin, and I'm doing my video challenge starting on Monday. Last time was phenomenal. The ladies had nothing but amazing things to say about it. And it's $30, like Katrina said earlier. It's the 8th through the 12th, so Monday through Friday. And we hop on every day on Zoom. I teach some stuff, and everybody is challenged to do at least a video a day. It doesn't have to be long, just super short. And that will really help you to market your business and get yourself out there and get new clients. So we'd love to have you. I posted the link to sign up and learn more in the chat as well.
And it's for men too, because you said the ladies, because they need to do more video too.
Yes.
And build their influence.
Yeah.
So, very good. All right, Shane, you're in like dual screens over here and you're muted. Okay, so share who you are real quick too, because we didn't hear you on introductions, and then share what you're up to.
Oh, I'm on two screens. I just got home, so I switched over to the desktop. Yeah, I'm Shane Knuth. I run fasttuts.com. I do graphic design and video production training and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of getting into entrepreneurial type stuff, and I was kind of interested in learning how to be a better speaker. I don't know if my volume's on.
You're good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I don't really have any events or anything coming up, but yeah, that's who I am. Shane, Sacramento, local, doing a lot of graphic design, video work, and just looking to kind of get more involved in the entrepreneurial scene and try and learn as much as I can.
Awesome. Well, you said you're local in Sacramento? Yeah. Okay. Well, you should come to the luncheon if you can. That's the best place to really connect and get a lot more, grounded with that. So
for sure. Cool.
It's tomorrow, I know. Let's see. Anybody else have anything coming up? No? Okay. So my event is November 1, 2, 3 in Rancho Cordova. And it's the last time it's going to be in Rancho. I'm actually moving it to Roseville to the Falls event next year. I'm so excited because it's a bigger space. It's now newer. And but this November event, we're going to be talking all about video marketing, more on social media, what to really spend your time on and what not to, so that those of us who are super busy can be hyper-focused on revenue-generating activities that's going to build our influence and ourselves as an authority, also create better systems in the back end, and get more speaking gigs, maybe become an author. I'll probably actually be doing another author compilation book, the one that a few of you guys are in, that'll be launching this fall. I might actually launch one for 2019 as well at that event. And I have a VIP ticket that's going on. You can certainly do general admission. It's $197. It's totally worth it for 3 days of working with me on your business, and with all the people that are going to be there. But a VIP, I'm doing a full VIP or a half day with the VIPs, and it's going to be at a later date and it'll probably be virtual. So it's going to be a lot more in-depth coaching to people who want to sign up for that. And I might even throw in a wine tasting trip that Sunday after my event, because I'm planning one for my mastermind folks. And so I might be throwing that in. I don't know yet. But I have some great speakers. I got Jill Lublin coming talking about publicity and getting exposure, and Katarina Rando's coming to talk about how to do live events and retreats. And then, Holly Porter's coming to talk about how to really get better relationships going with your prospects and clients. And then I have Rhonda Liebig coming to, she's the energy revitalized coach, and she's going to keep the energy for us in the room with all the training that's going on. So it's going to be super fun in November, and you definitely want to change your plans and get there if you can. It's jumpstartyourbizinAweekend.com, and I'll put the link in the chat. Anybody else have any last minute thoughts? Don, you're unmuted. Did you have something going on?
Yeah, I got a couple things going on. It's kind of cool. Today I got to, with a fellow friend of mine, that are on the Sonoma County TEDx organizing committee.
Oh yeah.
Spoke to a 8th grade class. We've been helping him a couple times on how to do a TED Talk. So today we went over how to deliver it, and it was pretty funny. The whole gamut of 16-year-old 8th graders that you could imagine. Some very much into it, and some that rather be doing anything outside as opposed to being inside the classroom. So it was kind of fun. So that was one thing. And then I have a couple of talks for Sonoma State University, the hybrid Saturday Bachelor of Arts program. Be speaking to a couple classes this month. And then lastly, with a couple other friends, we're going to be speaking to the CMRTA, which I had to look up. The California Municipal Revenue and Tax Association is having their annual convention in Rohnert Park, and a few of us are going to do a little presentation about how to be better speakers, and also do a little promotion for Toastmasters itself. So anyway, that's a couple things I had coming up.
That's great. That sounds like a horribly boring event, but I'm sure you're going to make it.
I thought so too, to be honest, when I heard the title. But I used to supervise folks just like that, so it's like I'll do my best.
You have a good sense of humor, and so that'll work out just fine, I'm sure. Hey, question for those of you in Toastmasters. I'm always looking for the regional, the bigger events. So if anybody does know of anything going on, please let me know. I mean, I'm not going to probably join a local weekly, but if someone knows of a regional or a bigger event where there's more people, that would be something I'm interested in. Cool. All right. Well, is there any last minute comments or questions? Okay. Well, hopefully you guys had fun and learned some stuff. And I know Megan had to run off, and so make sure you check out her link that she put in the chat, and I will send you all the recording. Well, the recording will be posted on that page that I put in the chat. It's the /tax speaker webinars on my website. So my website is the hub of my business and this group. So, all right, you guys. Well, hopefully we'll see some of you tomorrow at the luncheon. If not, we'll see you next month on the webinar. Have a great night.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.